It's almost here. Your gateway to the north is loading in preparation for those wanting to explore the region. That's right, Kasama Airport has been upgraded and will soon be opening its doors to travelers. Explore Kasama through your gateway to possibilities. Zambia Airports Corporation Limited. Keep flying.
Wow, that over there is a very nice Ford. Have you seen it?
Of course. I have been looking at it since we got here. My worry is how people manage such vehicles and where they buy genuine parts from.
I'm sure there's nowhere else apart from Shuma Auto Parts. They are the only supplier of genuine Ford and Mazda parts, which comes straight from the manufacturer. They have everything in stock for both latest and ordinary Mazda and Ford. They also stock service parts such as diesel filters, aircon filters, diesel pumps, steering pumps, turbochargers, engine overhaul gaskets, suspension parts, and body parts. If they don't have parts you're looking for, they can order within 5 to 10 working days. To top it up, Shuma Auto Parts also supply Maxxis tires and CST tires.
Really? But where are they found?
They are found on Chandram Sonda Road, Cruiser Auto Workshop in Lusaka. Call on 0979 192057 and 0960747235. Email shumaautoparts@gmail.com. Shuma Auto Parts for all your genuine vehicle parts.
The Happy World of 5FM Radio, your adult contemporary radio station in Zambia, connecting you to the newsmakers and events that make news in the global village.
Good evening. With the news at 18:30, my name is Judith Mwape. The headlines. Government condemns mob justice in Shubuyunji district. NGOCC concerned that 2024 budget remains gender blind. Fleeing fighting to find hunger in South Sudan. News in detail. Home Affairs and Internal Security Minister Jack Mwimbu says law enforcers are investigating the matter where 2 persons were burnt to death on allegations of cattle rustling in Mulimba village of Shibuyunji district through mob justice. And raised by Pambashe constituency member of parliament Ronald Stotela in parliament this afternoon, who wanted to know what his ministry is doing regarding the Shibuyunji incident in which 2 persons were burnt to death on allegations of cattle rustling recently. Mr. Mwimbu says the incident is similar to that of Mumbwa district, adding that the government will not condone illegality to continue. He has further urged members of the public suspecting others to have committed crime to report such matters to police station and not to take the law in their hands.
Because of us not condoning illegality, a number of people in Mumbwa were arrested and jailed for taking the law in their own hands. In the similar vein, we condemn the action of the people in Shibuyunji. We do not condone anyone taking the law in their own hands. It's not unusual, Madam Speaker, to find that innocent victims have found themselves in such a situation.
Police in Westwood have received a report of stock theft from Simon Monsanje of Mulonda village that unknown criminals have stolen his 2 Alton, black and brown in color, valued at 15,000 kwacha. Police spokesperson Ray Hamonga said this occurred today at around 01 hours at Mulonda village of Kabangalala area. Mr. Hamonga explains that brief facts of the matter are that the owner secured his crow and retired to bed around 22 hours yesterday, and today around 01 hours, whilst asleep, he heard some noise and decided to go and check his crow. He said the owner only discovered that the door of the crow was open and 2 oxen had been stolen. Meanwhile, Mr. Hamonga said police have detained one suspect in connection to this matter.
Once asleep, he heard some noise and decided to go and check his crow, only to discover that the door to the crow was open and 2 oxen had been stolen. He alerted his neighbors and they started following the footprints, which led them to the place where the animals were slaughtered. From there, they noticed tire marks and followed them. After 5 kilometers, they found a vehicle parked off the road loaded with carcass. The vehicle color registration number BAG 2895, bearing chassis number DY3W 456976 and engine number ZJ460175.
The Non-Governmental Gender Organizations Coordinating Council has expressed concern that the 2024 budget does not make provision for the Constitution review, especially the inclusion of the expanded Bill of Rights. Organization Executive Director Anne Anamela says it has been stated before that the expanded Bill of Rights remains key for women and children. She has pleaded with the government to consider facilitating a stand-alone national referendum before the 2026 elections. Ms. Anamela says the women's movement is still concerned that the 2024 budget, just like the budgets before, remains gender blind. She has since urged the Ministry of Finance and National leisure to ensure that national budgets are gender responsive and sensitive, taking into consideration the differentiated needs of women, men, girls, and boys.
However, happy to note that government has proposed a significant increased allocation from 39.4 million to 111.7 million kwacha towards the school feeding program. This will provide some relief to learners coming from vulnerable households, especially female and child-headed households, at a time when household food security and nutrition is compromised due to high cost of living. The intended procurement of 1 million desks for learners is commendable, as it also provides business opportunities for entrepreneurs.
In another development, the Zambia National Education Coalition, ZANEC, has acknowledged with delight the increased allocation to the education sector from 13.9% in 2023 to 15.4% in 2024. ZANEC Executive Director George Hamusunga has therefore encouraged the government to continue working towards achieving a minimum of 20% allocation of the total budget according to the SADC and Cairo protocols on education sector. He says this will allow the country to make adequate investments in improving the quality of education for all. Mr. Hamusunga has recommended that for the 1,200 non-teaching staff that will be recruited in 2024, 15% should be early childhood education caregivers.
The Girls Education and Women's Empowerment Livelihood Project is going to increase access to secondary education for girls. Is also commendable, covering 129,400 beneficiaries in 81 districts by April 2024 from the current 116,891 beneficiaries in 76 districts will definitely benefit more girls. To this effect, ZANEC would like to recommend the following measures going forward. Number one, ZANEC acknowledges the increased allocation to the education sector from 13.9% in 2023 to 15.4%.
Health Minister Silva Masebo has acknowledged the support provided by the World Bank to the Ministry of Health through various projects, which has contributed to improvement of health of the citizens. Speaking during a meeting with the World Bank Zambia team in Lusaka today, Ms. Masebo says the ministry cannot doubt the relevance of the banks to. She has observed that many projects being rolled out are designed to address emerging issues which are critical to improving key health indicators, and therefore has no doubt that with timely human resources and case management capacity will contribute to national development.
The facility focuses on lab and health system strengthening in general. Through this support, the country will be able to build and operationalize a state-of-the-art biosafety level 3 laboratory to serve the country and the sub-region. Also to establish an ICT center and build new offices for the Zambia National Public Health Institute.
Another story is trending this evening. Action Aid Zambia says the 2024 national budget should have focused purely on ending poverty that is getting to alarming levels. The Cotton Board of Zambia says the 5-year tax incentives given to local cotton producers and ginners will boost cotton production. Up next, the business news.
5FM Radio Business News. We mean business. Keep you current in commerce, trade, and industry, local and global. It's our business to keep you informed about business.
Climate Smart Agriculture Managing Consultant and Researcher Oliver Blaya has called on the relevant bodies to enhance surveillance in all parts of the country. This follows a swift action by the police to nab fake compound manufacturers recently. Dr. Blaya says all those who have brought this to bear must be commended for understanding the damage being perpetuated by such evil activities, despite many challenges smallholder farmers go through. He has regretted that vulnerable farmers have become a stepping stone to enriching scrupulous people who take advantage of their vulnerability.
ACP and other interested bodies must enhance surveillance in all parts of our country. Farmers must watch against buying cheaper commodities. If you may have this in agro shops, in this example, what more from the streets? It is important for our farmers always to buy from reputable agro dealers who are liable to consequences of their wrongdoings. Such evil acts are detrimental to the growth of the sector, and the perpetrators must be caged. Inspections and surveillance must be extended to seed as well.
5FM Radio Business News. We mean business. Keep you current in commerce, trade, and industry, local and global. It's our business to keep you informed about business.
And now in foreign news, hundreds of thousands of people fleeing the fighting in Sudan to South Sudan are going multiple days without food as child malnutrition soars, the World Food Programme has warned. The UN agency says a hunger emergency is looming on the border between the two countries and admits it is struggling to meet the growing humanitarian needs. It is estimated that 90% of people are going for days without eating, and already 1 in 5 children and a quarter of pregnant or breastfeeding mothers are malnourished. They are fleeing the war which broke out in Sudan in April. Here's a roundup from the BBC.
The United Nations World Food Programme is warning of a looming hunger crisis amongst those fleeing the conflict in Sudan. The WFP said that of the nearly 300,000 refugees who've arrived at the South Sudan border in 5 months, 90% are going without food for many days. It added that 1 in 5 children and a quarter of pregnant or breastfeeding mothers are malnourished. Pakistan's government has said all illegal immigrants must leave the country by the end of the month. The Interior Minister, Sarfraz Bugti, said their properties and businesses would also be seized. The Afghan embassy in Islamabad has accused the Pakistani authorities of harassment. Hunter Biden, the son of the US president, has pleaded not guilty to 3 federal firearms charges in Delaware. Prosecutors accuse him of making false statements about his drug use when he bought a gun in 2018.
And finally, in sports news, Zambia under-20 women's national team coach Charles Haluono is delighted with the progress made by his team ahead of Saturday's Colombia 2024 FIFA Women's World Cup second round first leg qualifier against DR Congo. Haluono now has all the 35 players he provisionally summoned for the back-to-back second round fixture who are on a mission to qualify for the Age Group World Cup. Haluono, his members of the technical bench and players have been getting motivation from the senior women national team who have competed in all major tournaments, with the recent one being their debut World Cup jointly hosted by Australia and New Zealand in July. Another weather report brought to you by Classicon.
Class Econ Roofing Africa. Class Econ Roofing, plot 17100 off Katanga Road, 150 meters from Mumbwa Road, Chinika Industrial Area, Lusaka. Class Econ Roofing. Class plus economy. Class Econ. Class Econ Roofing Africa. Class Econ.
Most parts of the country will be mainly cloudy, windy, and warm to mild. That ends the weather report.
Class Econ Roofing Africa. Class Econ Roofing, plot 17100 off Katanga Road, 150 meters from Mumbwa Road, Chinika Industrial Area, Lusaka. Class Econ Roofing. Class plus economy. Class Econ. Class Econ Roofing Africa. Class Econ.
And that item brings us to the end of the news this evening. But before we go, a recap of the top stories. Government condemns mob justice in Shubuyunji district. NGOCC concerned that 2024 budget remains gender blind. Fleeing fighting to find hunger in South Sudan. For more news, follow us on Facebook and YouTube channel 5FM Radio Zambia. On behalf of the entire news crew and the technical department, thank you for listening to the Happy World of 5FM. Stay safe and stay tuned to 5FM Radio. I'm Judith Mwabe. Good evening.